little or no funds to market effectively. I run a cleaning business, so I need to know how I can market it effectively. And I also have a salary-paying job.
You don't need money to do a good business. You need a good business to make money. If you have a cleaning service job, show people you can clean and have a USP. Do you understand what a USP is? Do we understand our USP? No. Unique selling point. Every business needs a USP to have an edge over the next one. So if you have your USP, work hard on it. Push yourself. Do guerrilla marketing. Get out there. Show you can clean. You have a good cleaning business. Do you clean this church? Or it's too expensive for you to clean? You don't need money to market. You are the marketer. Push yourself.
Yeah, in addition to that, like I explained when I was talking, the first time I marketed my honey, I didn't go to BCOS or NTA. I didn't go to Radio Nigeria. I simply took a small portion of it. I took that as my marketing budget and gave it out to people. There's no marketing stronger than referral, direct referral. In fact, let me tell you, how many people are in Ibadan? Estimated population of Ibadan, what's it?
4 million.
Four estimated. Okay, let's between 4-7 million. If just 0.1% of them are servicing your business, they are okay. 1% of 7 million is how much? Mathematics people, I know to know book. Help me out. 70,000. 7,000. What am I? 70,000. So imagine we're 7 million. 1% of 7 million is 70,000. Can you claim for 70,000 people in a month? You don't even need that one piece. It's too much. Direct referral. If you do a good job, the next person is going to tell the next person, that's going to tell the next person, that's going to tell the next person. 1. 2. Volunteer. Like I said, so like that's the same, almost the same thing, If you do a good job, always make sure that every time you have the opportunity, either paid or not, put in your best effort. You're as good as your last job. It will reference you with that. So then if you see opportunities, for example, somebody wants to do an event, you just approach the person and you see banner. I run a cleaning service. We would like to clean that place for you after you are done for free. Yes, a team of 3 people will clean that event for you for free after you are done. All you need to do is just allow us to put a banner while the event is going on. We'll keep it for free. And then call the people. It might come out of your pocket. Give those cleaners some money. If they are close to you and you can explain to them that you're trying to market and that when the jobs start coming and then still go chop the money, you can have an understanding like that. But please don't extort people or exploit rather. So that's another way. Volunteer, those free things. They will come back as paid. Then 3, sometimes even digital marketing is not as expensive as you think. Because some people are talking from price points. Do you know to advertise on Instagram, Facebook, sometimes it's just a few dollars. I've done it before. To have your stuff. From $2, $3, $4, $5, $10. Imagine $600. Imagine $700. $10 is how much? That's 10 times 700. You can do that once a week and it will roll for a couple of times in a particular demographics. You can decide where you want the advert to show on Facebook. Facebook marketing is so easy, Twitter, I think they do it. It's sometimes it's not that difficult. It's not that expensive. Maybe you're thinking of big board. No, it's not that expensive. That's all I have to say.
All right. My question is to Mr. Frank. I want to ask...
Hold on. One more.
Okay.
So I was going to talk about that. I feel one of the reasons why we see money as the main limiting factor is because we have not yet believed so much in what we are selling. I think that's the foundation. If you don't believe so much in it, you always have reasons why you can't sell or reasons why you can't market. The way you talk about your business in itself, it's like you are evangelizing people. I want to give us the story of Andela. How many people know about Andela? Okay, so Inyabo founded Andela. And they said, when they started, Andela, you were meant to come and get trained for free. You were not going to pay for learning software and stuff like that. But people were not interested. You were going to get paid for free. You will get connected with companies abroad, and you will earn in dollars. But people were not interested. They said they began to jump on Molue and everything, giving people, flyers like tracts. That was how much they went. They went to churches, mosques to talk about it because they believed in their solution. So if you believe in your solution, you will find that the approach to marketing will not first be money dependent. It will be vision and, passion dependent. Yeah. So I just need to say that as a foundation.
So, Oga Frank, I want to find out, when are you resuming the Twitter space? Because I was on the one of the strawberry guy. Is it from Cheyenne now or something? Then the other one with the lady, the mushroom person. And I realized that you've not, since then, I've not seen any notification to that effect. So I would like to know, sir. Thank you.
Okay, very soon. There was when I stopped, I think the Premier League was going on, and there's no, a lot of people are talking about football. I'm like, you know what? This is costing me so much because it takes a lot for me to do those things. It costs me a lot. I said, let football season go. And football season went, and delegate season came. But we're resuming very soon.
Uncle Frank, when will you start the comedy between you and the baby? You've stopped a long time.
Young shall grow, baby has grown. Thank you. I mean, again, I'm not sure what the motive for that question is, but if it's for thinking, okay, continuity or persistence, again, some things, some contents, some digital contents are for a season, are for a reason also. Most of 90% of what I do is social commentary and edutainment. And if it's not educative in a way, I hardly will be interested. Of course, the gentleman who's a baby landlord you're referring to, we do a lot of bands between ourselves that's very educational in nature. He had to go to school, and I had other things, I had other interests, so we kind of paused it for a season. I even have some episodes we've not released, but I'm thinking, why do we need to go back to? We should move to other things like the movies, seminars, workshops, and more mature stuff. But don't worry, we'll bring a few back just because you said so.
Okay, thank you so much. My own question has to do with the food business. Okay, is something that I think a lot of people can go into because the demand is very high. Everybody must eat every day and all that. Now, food is perishable, and then in the big markets like Bodija and all those things, you have all these big players there already. Or Lagos anywhere, or the major street, you have a lot of big players. So how does a small person comes and succeed that business? Without, he doesn't have so much money to go and rent the big shops. And then if he doesn't sell, the whole thing goes bad. So before he begins to find his level, what are the ways that can run the business until it gets stabilized?
When you say food business, the food business is a very vast industry. Can you be more specific, sir? What kind of food business are you looking at?
Maybe sell rice for lunch or something.
Raw,
yeah. No, cooked food, yes. That's why I say it's perishable, yeah.
It's not perishable, it's consumable. Yes, sir. We consume so much food. There are so many amala joints, and they don't throw away amala. Do you understand, sir? There is so much food consumed. There are so many bread factories, bakeries around. What happens to the bread they produce every day? Nobody likes eating bread at all. Yes, they produce even twice a day. So consumption is huge. What aspect of the food industry do you want to enter? Have your plan clear. Know what, like I said earlier, I know a lady that does moi moi, and that's all she does. And so on and so forth. So when you want to start your food business, are you good at what you want to do? Are you specific? Do you understand, sir? Have you set your eyes on a particular market? Have you targeted the market? Let me give you an example. In my industry, in my business, I don't just cook food. Every type of food we cook, I have a relationship with it, and I have a target for it. I just spoke about puff puff. Some people only know dash cake for chin chin. How many people know dash chin chin? Some people know us for the chin chin, and that's all they buy from us. Some people will actually tell me, oh, so you do wedding cakes? They don't know, because they have a relationship with a particular product. And I treat each product as if that's the only thing I'm selling. Before I went into restauranting, I sold club sandwiches for almost 2 years in Ibadan. Just club sandwiches, nothing else, apart from my cakes and bakery products. Do you understand? So my club sandwiches has its market. It has a target market. It has a target in itself. How many club sandwiches can we sell in a week? How many plates of this can we sell in a week? So even in my restaurants, I give my waiters targets. You sell this product, and you must sell this quantity, because they are individual. Yes, under one collective umbrella. So you have to be clear. Be good at what you want to sell, not average. Be exceptionally good. I won't compete in the Amala market. Never. Not in this town. Maybe in London. Do I do Amala well at home? Oh, yes. Do I cook egusi mewedu very well? Yes. I even have different sauces for my Amala in the house. But can I compete with the Yadija? No. Am I lying to myself? I can't compete with the Yadija. Yadija knows me personally, by the way. I call her and say, Mofeja Amala. Do you understand what I mean? So, do we sell Amala in Chrysalis? Yes. But it's not my strongest point. I can't compete with those people. But if you want to eat it in the Oyinbo environment, you are welcome. Because me, I will still call Iyadija for my own Amala when I feel like going very local. Do you understand what I mean? So that's why I'm saying be very clear about the food product you want to sell. Be exceptionally good at it. Have your target audience and go for it. It cannot perish. It cannot. During the COVID season, I was selling moi moi, and I would use ogi as the bonus. Order 10 moi moi, get 1 free ogi. And it moved. People were like, we are sitting at home anyway. 10 moi moi, how much? And it went viral. Do you understand? So please, food business is good business.
Okay, thank you. I have a question, and I want to, so I've been hearing starting small, more like start with maybe what you have, where you are. So I want to ask, what is the impact? So before this session, someone spoke about branding, marketing, and sales, and they talked about the impact of marketing. If your branding is very, very fantastic, you could spend less on marketing and sales. So I want to ask, what is the impact of home businesses on branding, especially? So like say a fashion designer, ideally maybe you want to get a shop in an open square and make it posh and also a thing, but you feel like, okay, I've not made what I want to invest into renting a shop, fixing things. Can I just start in my sitting room or in one of the rooms in my apartment? What is the impact on that, starting from home, on the business, especially the branding part? Would you be able to still attract your target customers, sales? How do they work together, and what's the best option if you do not have fun to start out, like, especially when you have to borrow? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, so my company does a lot of branding work for clients, and one of the things is that people's perception about branding is, first of all, logos and all of that. But there is this very salient definition that branding is what people say about you when you are not present. So what do people say about you when you are not present? So if that is the, like the foundational definition, it means that it's not so much about where you are starting from. I came with my friend, Sheikh Badibo. he owns a company called Konkere. So Konkere builds concrete planters, right? And he started from his garage at home, right? But what he has invested in is good pictures, quality pictures. And with quality pictures, you don't even need to know where the product is being made. All you are seeing are well-lit pictures, well-edited pictures, and then it's on Instagram. Now they are partnering with Tailo in a furniture company in Lagos, which is a big furniture company. And Tailo doesn't know where the production is coming from. It's just the beautiful pictures. So what you want to do is to ensure that anything that will reduce your brand capital, anything that will reduce the perception people have, keep it away for the meantime, right? You don't want to record, for instance, I do online trainings. You don't want to record online trainings where the background is, bad, stained, dirty. You want to invest in paint for that wall that you use as a background. Or you want to invest in a bookshelf that when people are looking at the video, they are seeing a nicely arranged bookshelf. And that's all they need to know. The other part of the house can be in disarray. But it doesn't matter. What you want them to see is, hey, I have this nice background where I'm speaking to you from. So I think that's having a own business is not a major challenge. What are the touch points? What are the things people see? Then ensure that those things are well curated for a good impression on their minds. Yeah. So.
I would just want to add, you said it all. Discipline is usually the problem. When you do businesses from home, discipline, to be consistent and to maintain quality. Of course, obviously, if you are married and you have kids, distraction, you need to make sure, if it's something like recording, you need to make sure the kids are not around where you are recording. Probably when they are sleeping at night, you record, or they are out of the house to school. And if you are producing something like in the garage, you also need to make sure you're not being a nuisance to the neighbors before they report you to environmental people. And also that you can do the best you can. Basically, any other thing I wanted to add has been said. Is how people see you. Put your best foot forward. The shirt you are wearing, I don't know what designer it is, but I'm sure you don't know where it was manufactured. You'll probably be shocked if they told you they made it under the garage or somebody. But you don't know and you don't care. All you want is, this is a good shirt, affordable quality. You buy it and move on. 21st century, people care less about those kind of things. Before you start caring about that level, you're multinational, and you would have grown anyway. So starting small is all about using what you have around you. But that excellence, can you maintain that excellence? Usually the problem around starting in the house is the difficulty and the discipline in maintaining that excellence. If you can, nobody cares where you're doing it from.
Quality. The quality of your product is all you need. You don't need the brick and mortar to start off. Once your product can speak for you, people will buy it. And it will grow itself. I don't know how to explain that anymore than I will tell you I started my business with 7,000. My last NYSC allowee and bonuses. That's all I had. Today we are talking a different figure. But I tell you, I started with the gas cooker in the kitchen at home, but I was hell-bent on giving the best quality out. So it's not bad to start small. It helps you learn starting small. Learn the ropes. Be confident. Because if you start big, you will hit some challenges that will throw you off balance. But if you grow into it, you've seen it. Not be with a mixed cake inside big bowl without mixing machine. Wait till you now tell us to give you cakes of how many pieces. We will do it overnight. We are ready. Ask for 100 cakes individually decorated. We will produce it. We are known for it because we started small. We honed our talent. We honed our skills. There is no light, no problem. Do this, do that. We've mastered it. And so we can survive. But if you go and borrow money, get investors, start big, without the experience, you will fall flat on your face. So please never despise the days of small beginnings. They are the best days. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My question is how do you scale up your business? How do you scale up? Take, for example, you're in a business where you're servicing 100 to 1,000 customers. How do you go from that level to, let's say, 10,000 to 100,000, like in terms of building capacity? And pretty much everybody has talked about, starting small. How do you make sure you don't stay small in terms of capacity now?
Okay, that's a very good one for me because I had experience scaling up. So like I said, when I first got to Ibadan, I did club sandwiches and I pushed just the club sandwiches for a long time. And then one day, I got a call from U.S.H. They were having National Pediatrics Association come to Ibadan for a week. And because I had been selling club sandwiches, they could vouch for it, and my snacks, they decided they would give me a contract for that week to serve tea break to guess how many people? 500 people every morning for, I think, 5 or 6 days. Club sandwiches. Do you know what club sandwiches is? And to do that before 8 a.m., 500. This is me coming from 10 club sandwiches, 15 club sandwiches, to automatically going to 500. It was a big challenge. That was my scaling up experience. But I took it up. I didn't shy away from it. I sat down with my team. Well, how are we going to do this? We need material, we need time, we need a production line. We did it successfully, to the glory of God. And that was our biggest break into the market. From that point henceforth, we started serving tea breaks. If you work in U.S.H., you probably know us. We are renowned for our tea break. I'm still serving West African College of Surgeons since then because of that experience. But we looked, it's a big topic, it's a big thing, scaling up, that we can't cover in this session. But if you have earned and practiced, have a system in place, then you can scale up easily. It's system. Thank you.
Okay. While this will be more of, like what I've been thinking about, because my business is moving to that point where I have to think of, such expansion. What I've discovered is that the fact that you founded a business does not mean that you can move it to the next level. So you have to be humble enough and honest enough to say that, hey, I think I have the capacity to build it to this point, then I have to bring in somebody else. And I think that's why most Western companies in America, that's why they've grown so big. The founders know their limits, and then they're able to bring veterans. They're able to bring people that are able to scale and manage at that scale. So I'm already thinking of that, hey, I think I'm getting to that point where when it gets to this point, I'm going to have to either appoint other people to help take care of those expanded parts of the business. So that's something I can think of as well. Yeah.
A lot of Nigerian businesses and business people, even beyond business, there's one, the Achilles heel, we call it now, one weakness that we have in this country. We hate collaboration. You can get to a neighborhood, there are 30 people there, and there are 29 businesses. Why don't people pair up to achieve greater heights? No, let me go run my team. I want to be CEO and boss. And I've seen that in a lot of situations. Everybody wants to be their own boss, Sometimes in growth, you need to, first of all, have a structure that's scalable. Some businesses are not scalable. They were not designed to be scalable. Any business that is built on one person and revolves around one person is hardly scalable. That's why Steve Jobs had to step aside, and when he stepped aside, other people came in. And they now come with their own fresh ideas or vision or spin to the business. Any business that is solely resting on you, your ideas, your motive, it's tricky. So first of all, you need a structure. You can't do everything. The moment it is only you doing everything and nobody else can do another thing, it becomes a problem. Let's even take music, for example. How do you scale up music? First of all, you start singing in praise and worship, house fellowship. You scale up, personal. They appreciate you with honorarium. Then you start ministering in church, bigger honorarium. They start inviting you to wedding, to sing during the wedding. That's another scale up. But by the time you start going to wedding, you notice that you are depending on the band. They chop your eye 2 or 3, 4 times. They give you wrong beats, wrong key. So you say, let me call Brother Shion. He's the one playing the keyboard in church. He knows my key, whether union key or jam key. He can find it. And he finds your key. Brother Shion, can you bring that brother on the drums? I like the way he drums. And you bring 2 guys. And I say, you know what? People are beginning to come in for weddings every week now. Can we just be playing together, scaling up? Find Brother Shion something. Find Brother G.U.SH something. After that, you now discover that not only weekends, people are now beginning to call you during the week or more. Meanwhile, you're not the employee before, but now, even the small way they do now, this one don't overtake. How do you scale up? You now begin to see that people are now beginning to call you, even when you are performing in a wedding, your phone is ringing. You know? Praise the Lord, hallelujah, lift him up, hallelujah. Let me call you back, I'm in the wedding. Come on, you need to scale up. You need to, call Sister Sarah, please hold my phone. Any call that comes through, attend to them nicely, take their address, take their wedding date, tell them they book the fees. Sister Mary is now taking booking from you. So Brother Jide, Brother Shion, and Brother Shola are on the band. Sister Mary is doing the PR work for you, doing your PA work. Now you need to, guys, we need to now stop singing common praise and worship songs. Why don't we come up with our own songs, scaling up? You are not a good songwriter. If none of your bands can write, call Auntie Yemisi. She's the one composing one of the songs for the headquarter church. Call her. Can you come up with some songs, nice Christian songs that fit wedding? You begin to pay. You see where I'm going with this? But if now you be the backup singer, the lead singer, now they put your CD for soundtrack, now they carry your call. Now one day if you are sick, what happens? So you need that structure. But again, usually what happens is the inflow of the business that grows it. But you need to keep scale. You need to keep structure in mind. No tight finger, no chop out the blessing, let it flow. Because Brother Jude, there's a sister MSC in your life that you can also call. Find out something. Brother Shola too on the keyboard, find them something. Then later, last, you now get a small space where people are doing rehearsals. Last, you now find maybe Uncle Shola, you now know Spear, you now begins to do motion graphics for you. You now have Instagram pages, now handling your web design, handling your Instagram pages, now handling your videos. Last, you now begin to do concerts. Last, you now begin to do trainings, voice trainings, music trainings. Last, you begin to collaborate as an associate of Berkeley Music School in the UK. Amen.
Hello, sir. Afternoon, everybody. Okay, this is for Mr. Frank. You were talking the last time about agripreneur. I think I heard you saying you hold some seminars as regards that. How does that work?
In terms of the audience or the...
Yes, how often do you do it?
Oh, yeah. Well, what I was referring to was my Twitter Spaces. So Twitter has this new feature, if you're on Twitter, where you can have virtual meetings. Somebody starts a meeting, people join from anywhere in the world, as long as they have a phone and they have a Twitter account, people join. But this time around, it's not only tweeting they can tweet. They can actually hear you talking on Twitter. Before, Twitter didn't have that structure, but they scaled up. You see where we're going with this? Even Twitter, they scale up. Instagram started with 15 seconds video. Now that time we join. Make people laugh in 15 seconds, or you get out. They do comedy 15 seconds. Last, they make 30. Was it 30 or 60 seconds? From there, now you can put a whole YouTube series on Instagram. Now you and your audience and data go suffer around. You understand? They are scaling up. So it's the same thing with that. Twitter scaled up, and then people started having virtual meetings. And of course, being a farmer myself, I started, advertising that. Let's talk about agriculture. I don't know, maybe because people just didn't expect me to know anything about agriculture, and I had things to share, and I started. And boy, oh boy, did I start. 2 weeks down the line, 3 weeks down the line, I started getting calls from companies that wanted to fly me on private jet to some agri companies in the north because they were doing an opening ceremony. I don't get it. Private jet. I've not even spent 2 months in this thing, but probably because of the knowledge I had and the way it was structured. I knew where I was going with this. So I prepared. I started teasing them 2-3 days before I did the first one. As I was throwing agric jabs. I was throwing agric jabs, maize farming in Nigeria. Nigeria currently produces so million metric tons of maize. What's happening to the poultry industry? Frank Donga. Now wine, now plan work. Now marketing. I go come back, throw orange. Come carry one concept for America where they make things work. Throw them. You see people, they like them. After a few days, I started gathering the interest of agripreneurs and people in farming. Then next, I started seeing DM with some big northern names in agriculture. I had to wipe my face twice, like, now this guy sent me DM. I started, next thing, even ITA, ITA, we started, I didn't see them liking my tweet, tweeting my tweet. I started seeing heads of international NGOs in agribusiness. Started like, okay, we're making some sense here. Then we started doing those meetings. But you see, I knew I had a structure in mind, and I started from stage 1, stage 2. And the gentleman that asked me a question about what I was planning next, stage 3 now where we're going is we start visiting young agripreneurs. When I say young, farmers in video content. I'll go to their farm, talk to them, have interviews with them. We put a drone in the sky, record their farms, talk about their successes and what they need to move to the next level. We edit it nicely with nice music and graphics, and we'll put it on social media. That's the next. You see, there's a plan for all these things, so that's what I also encourage. But to answer your question, I know I've done more than answer your question, but it's also helped me to answer the question of structure, going back to all those things. That's all.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to ask Ms. Tosin and Mr. Frank a couple of questions, just 3 questions. So, how do you handle a business that is kind of seasonal? So, like seasonal, like you know that this business is for a couple of times, like during COVID, some business started when COVID, there was a lockdown, and when lockdown, was lifted, some business are off the market and some are still ongoing, but they are struggling. And then second question is, how do you use a side gig? How do you use a side gig, all right, to fuel the main business that you are known with? Your main business that you are known might not be bringing so much money to either feed you or keep you running. So using a side also to fuel that main business, how do you manage it so that it won't look like people now mix you up with a particular business that you are known for, maybe a brand that you are known for, but that it's running a particular services, and now having a side gig or side also at the back end to fill that one at the front end, to have a picture that you have in mind. And then the last question that I still have for both of you is that in a particular industry or business that everyone belongs to, how do they need to create a niche for themselves? For instance, I know some photographers that what they do is they just do pictures for children, for kids, and that's all they do. They don't do anything else because they are good at taking kids' pictures. And also, I know Baker that what she does is just wedding cakes, nothing else. Although she does other cakes, but she's known for wedding cakes. So, what do you advise entrepreneurs, CEOs, or business owners that they don't just do everything? They create a niche for themselves. Like me, for example, of course, I'm a fitness trainer, but I focus on weight loss and weight management, or you staying in shape, and I focus on that. I know that I plan for weight gain and all of that, but I don't go into it because I might get lost in between it, but I focus on weight loss and weight management. So what do you advise to CEO and business owner instead of them just going around how to use brains to do several things? Why not just more and focus on it, or how it can have egg, or how it can have fish and all of that? Thank you, sir.
Let me start by saying, you see, the entrepreneurship world is a pretty tricky world. Sometimes nobody knows it all. Let me tell you my own personal experience. I graduated from University of Ibadan, my master's degree in animal genetics, and my vision in life was to become a molecular geneticist, doing recombinant DNA, gene splicing, and all that stuff. But then, the first job I got was in Lagos, and they said, media. Media. I packaged myself. When I was in Loyola College, I was one of those clique of boys drawing comics. I could draw very well. And I was in church in Ibadan, playing the keyboard and the bass guitar and the keyboard in the choir. So I knew music and I knew pictures. And they said media job. I said, if you run this thing. So I went for interview. What can you do? And I told them exactly. They said, but you don't have any experience in media. And I said, TV is nothing but pictures and sound. I have experience in pictures and I have experience in sound. They didn't expect that answer. Fast forward, I got the job. So I started doing that. All of a sudden, one day, I was thinking, why are people always scared of visa application interviews? They call you to embassy, people are carrying candle, they're waving mantle, they are reading Bible. People go for job interviews, they are sweating, they are panicking, they are calling for prayer warriors. People are so afraid of interviews, but I am not particularly. I know a few things you can do to make you calm, and a few things you can say to get your attention at the interview. But if I wrote a book, there are many books. If I did a seminar, there are many others. Let me do a comic skit to make it look to people what they look like when they don't prepare. So I did it. Boom. The video went viral. Now here I am doing wedding photography, journalism, media work. Now people are calling me, come and act. That was my side gig. But guess what? I fought it for a year. My point, don't lose focus on my point. Sometimes you start all these gigs, but one just takes over. It now becomes your choice. What do you want to do? Do you want to focus on the one that is taking over and nurture it? Or do you want to stick to what you are doing and kill that? Nobody can tell you that. It's you. Find out what you like, what makes you happy, and what you have ability, and think of the future. Can you sustain it? For a whole year, DMA Okolawan, Daniel F. Young, Sheon Ajayi, all of them are like, bros, you go act. I say never. You go act, never. They say you go act, I say never. Here I am today. I did the first gig, bam, second movie came, bam, that was fantastic, boom, that was like, bam, movie on Netflix, bam, okay, will I not leave it? And they were like, good morning. I said, yeah, we go slow down small, it's a media thing. Plus, the last wedding photography I went to do, when I got there, oh my God, are you the MC? I'm not the MC. Are you a guest? Oh my God, I'm your photographer. How? I said, oh man, I'm not going to snap photo again. No. Now, so that career, I collect the second love of my life. I couldn't do photography. Even company. I did a job for Unilever. They took picture at the reception. Then the Oyibo people came out. All right, where's the team? Let's go. I said, nah, me. The other people look and say, I don't understand. You are the person we're waiting for to do the video documentary. I had to, slow down. Then, talking about structure. So I had a structure. I put someone else in charge of that. And the company did not die. And the company grew so much that recently we just did another job for an East African client. The client is not even from Nigeria, but I didn't kill the company. But I took time off the structure and focused on the acting. So, long story short, sometimes you are going to run into things like that. Your side gig is going to compete with your main gig. Meanwhile, your main gig is not even that healthy. Today, kwashiorkor, tomorrow, anemia. Next tomorrow, whooping cough. Baba, stand up and walk. He said, no, leave me like this. Meanwhile, the other side gig is telling you, are they here? They look me now. When I chop your eye, you begin to cry. Say, what do we do? It's always a dilemma for any entrepreneur. So you need to look at it critically, prayerfully. I believe in prayers. And it makes sense to nurture the one that is giving you returns more and spend less energy on the one that is not. And by the way, sometimes, don't be every hustle that they die on top. If you also 2, 3, okay, you're on one singular hustle, 18 years, they pay you, and you are pumping, you are passing drip on the hustle. Alaye, let it go. If it's your own, it will come back. I think it's time. Sometimes some hustle, they drain you to the bone. Anyway, that's what I have to say about that. Prayerfully, critically think about it. And I do not believe that you should use a side hustle to power another hustle. I don't believe that. You want to say something now?
You've said it all, to be honest. Why do you think your side hustle cannot become your main hustle? Why must you stay fixed? For me, in business, as an entrepreneur, you must be dynamic and you must be ready to evolve. There is nothing permanent. There are seasons for everything. Like you rightly said, during the pandemic, some businesses sprung up. During the pandemic, I was sharing with Frank, restaurant business nosedived from hero to zero. Nobody was coming to the restaurant. Nobody was calling us to cater for parties. I had to be dynamic. I had to think of what next to do. And so I created this product. I was explaining to him. We call it Chrysalis Styles. That naughty boy is part of Chrysalis Styles. What was Chrysalis Styles about? We couldn't entertain more than 20 people for an event. But people were still getting married. They needed to do their wedding reception. Here we are, we have a space, a restaurant that can seat even 50 to 70 people. We have different locations, all locked up. We have fine crockery. We can decorate the table. We can do you a mini wedding cake. We can get photography for you. We even have MC. We have event planner. We even did souvenirs. Everything you get at a party, we had it in-house. We could do it. That was when I remember the name Dash was not for cakes. It was for a gift shop. I started as a university student. Anything you give out, anything you dash out. So it was a souvenir company. So I put all my experiences together and created a package and said Chrysalis Styles. And we'll say, bring 20 guests. Just come with your guests and you have the best party. And so 20 guests, I think we started at 200,000. Oh boy, people started calling because they had events. They wanted to celebrate their 50th birthday. They had weddings, they had retirements, they had, long and short of it, all the locations that were locked up started opening up. It was a package for that season. But guess what? We are still doing it till date. And it's even gone higher. We now do a package for 50 people. We have a package for 100 people. Do you understand? It was a side gig. The restaurants came back. Events came back. We didn't kill it. We realized it was a package that was bringing it. Sorry, during the pandemic, I told Frank, I said we came from 700,000 to 7,000 in a day. How do we survive? But the minute we got that package, we could have 2 events in one day, ranging from 200,000 to 300,000. And so during the pandemic, we were back on our feet, but with a different product. Learn to understand the times. Don't be rigid. Don't have a fixed mindset. If it is moi moi they are asking for, sell moi moi. I don't know why I'm so fixated on this moi moi. If it is puff puff they ask for, sell puff puff. I came in from Lagos this morning for this event. I went yesterday afternoon because I had an event. It wasn't food. It wasn't rice. They call it hot dogs. It was just tiny bits of snacks or food items. Not, well, some will say small chops for a cocktail event for 100 people. Just bite sizes. I curated a menu. It was designed for that event for 100 people. Do you want to know how much we took? I don't tell Frank.
Hey!
That's how much. For tiny things in Lagos, Balmoral, Lagos people, but they call us from Ibadan. Do you understand? I'm not rigid. If that's what's going to pay my bills for today, let's go for it. Be dynamic. Move with the trend of times. Don't say this is my main thing. I make shoes. It's only shoes. I just cut grass on the side. By the way, I'm an horticulturist. Yes, so have you been to Chrysalis? What is one of our signatures? Gardens. So people come and say, I love your garden. I say, I can help you. So I've gone to Lekki to do gardens.
Ozu.
Ozu, sir. Anything that will pay the bill for the day, I do it.
But if I can
Thank
have
you.
just 1 second.
Okay.
For his direct situation, you are a fitness coach, you said. Do you know that's also scalable? Yeah. It depends on how you approach it. I mean, people have made millions on YouTube just doing. I mean, I go sit down, they watch one guy, we wear tight pants, spandex, maybe they tell me how to sweat. I like, yeah, fist trek. But that's Misha. People, they watch those videos. During pandemic, people locked down, they couldn't go anywhere. So they had to exercise. Those videos trended, they got millions of views on YouTube and they were paid by YouTube. No matter, no limit to. So all this we are saying, I think this, I will summarize it as two, from what I've learned from how to now, be open to opportunities. We're not saying to be consistent and persistent. Not be the first skit when I do, they call me, come pay me money for skits. You understand? Some people have been doing skits for months now, nobody called them yet. But the day they will call you. But honestly, if you have been doing skits for 8 years, and ordinary finance never call you, I think you should have a talk with yourself. Like, what? No, you understand? No, we need to be honest with ourselves. If you like say this thing, you can have track record and you have provable. And is there something you are doing wrong? You've checked it, nothing. All the books are checked. maybe he's trying to add something to it. I've done skits that I thought brands were going to pick up. I'm on this skit too educational, too sensible. They don't call me. Oh. Now boys come to me, but that skit, they may say, who will do season 3? I say, on top whose bill? I like kill the thing. That baby landlord, people love it, die. I've made money with baby landlord kind of concept. We did it for a while. I'm like, I'm not going to keep pumping money into a skit that is costing me energy, time, money. For how long? If I'm not seeing the results in views on YouTube, and I'm not seeing the results by people calling me to sponsor that, then I better move on. Sometimes you need to make that judgment call. But for what you are doing, bros, look around. That thing is scalable. It has ancillary and adjoining values you can add. People go to estates in phase 1 normally to go and do jumpology beside the road. Sorry, to go and do fitness beside the road. And big men and women come out and they join them on demand beside the road. That market might not be for someone like me, because waiting I want shared. Bless God.
Thank you. A round of applause for them. Thank you so much, our panelists. Thank you. Now, we'll be out of here in a few minutes. We